to my brethren, kind and good. So I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on to reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving
Okay, my Straight Talk family, when you hear that theme song, you know it is time for me to say greetings to the entire world, because we are on the World Wide Web, and we reach and we do communicate with you all over the globe. But first of all, I must say a very special night to St. Kitts and Nevis, and to the entire Caribbean region. We are reaching and communicating with you all the way down south in Trinidad and Tobago. And as a matter of fact, on the South American mainland, we reach you in Guyana, también Venezuela, Buenas noches, Venezuela. But we coming up north, coming from Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados. How are you doing tonight? How is St. Lucia? How is St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Dominica, Martinique, Guadeloupe, bonsoir, and next door in Antigua and Barbuda. How is Montserrat? Haven't been in touch with anyone in Montserrat for a long time, but trust that Montserrat is doing okay. And we go west to St. Eustatia, Sabre, St. Bartholomew, or we say St. Bart's, St. Martin, and Guilla. How is the USVI? Or even before there, we go to the BVI, the British Virgin Islands, Tortola and Igada, Virgin Gorda. Then we go to St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John in the USVI. Also, we say Buenas noches, Puerto Rico también. But my Straight Talk family, wherever you are, matter of fact, you are all around the globe, and some of you are in Asia, in the Kittian and Nevision and Caribbean diaspora in Asia. Some of you are in Europe. There's some of you in Africa. And there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I will say good morning. And I will also say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And for the first-timers, we do have first-timers each time, because many of you share the link, and we are grateful for that. I hope and trust you'll continue to share that link, and when you do, we get first-timers. And if you are a first-timer, we say welcome, and trust and hope it won't be your last time, my Straight Talk family. And for the first-timers, just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expression on all issues of national, regional, and international interests, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, and or economic issues, political issues también. And on this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse by alerting all of our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liebert, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I always hasten to pledge that I'll remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, because here on Straight Talk, we water down nothing. Absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. Never try to make it more interesting nor sensational by omission or by exaggeration. We don't try to create excitement, especially if that's going to come at the expense of accuracy, because we lean on the facts. We present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, integrity, accountability, and all that goes with that, wherever you are in this world. Because this program joins us together with people all across the Federation. We are joined with people in the diaspora around the world. And some we know, and know very well, and have met. Others we do not know, and many we will never meet. Although there are many we meet spiritually and not physically. And some of us will disagree, or agree, I should say at first, with the positions of truth advanced on Straight Talk. And some will disagree. And that is fine, because we are a different people. So we entertain what I call a diversity in views. But please, do not sadden me if and start to become disagreeable. In the meanwhile, let's thank Almighty God for helping us to understand Oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let's therefore hope and pray for that day when we will all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who share the link. As you bring first-timers, please continue to do so. For the first-timers in particular, I must always inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. And by that I mean we include your calls, we also include your emails. And if you are so minded calling, then the numbers are on your screens. If you like what I call the cloak of anonymity, we give you access via our email platform, and that address as well is on your screens. And we are heard live on Alexa for those who have that access to Alexa. And you know, all you have to say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. And we thank Massive for his continued support. Trust you are okay, my big brother, and hoping to see you shortly. And we say a special welcome to our Straight Talk Junior Brigade. That's an imperative, that's a must. I am duty bound to hail my young brigade, my junior brigade I call them. Young Dwayne, Jasmine, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Rue, Jamal, Travis, Travon, and my grandson Neymar, and his good friend Soraya, Elizabeth, and the special lady in St. Louis. How is the queen over there in Texas? You know who she is. I am bound to hail Carla in Sandy Point as well. Packard, have you made up with your wife in terms of in getting her to view Straight Talk? But we normally start with our observations in review, my Straight Talk family. And that's the time when we highlight the current issues, we do some reflection, we ask a few questions, and, for example, what was accomplished, how we have helped others, I should say, what has changed since, what is expected next, and importantly, what we have learned as a people, because it's a learning process. And after our observation in review, we move to our thesis for tonight, which I have titled FENCED Shores, Erosion of Public Trust at Friars Bay. I had to really address that issue frontally, and I'm going to do so tonight, my Straight Talk family. But before we do, on a solemn note, yesterday I learned of the passing of my good brother and friend, Terence Ruben Fighting Hunks Percival. And I would dare say that the Federation has lost an icon, one of the few celebrated boxers this country has known. Fighting Hunks was one of the nation's first internationally recognized boxers who put St. Kitts and Nevis on the global boxing map. And for 9 consecutive years, Hunks won the National Welterweight Championship from 1974 to 1983. He also won the Caribbean Championship in 1978, my Straight Talk family. And with a professional career spanning over 27 years, from 1972 to 1999, you know, Hunks secured some 65 victories from 77 fights. Believe it or not, he was a regular contributor to Straight Talk. And Hunks, in fact, shared stories about his achievements right here on Straight Talk, My Family.
With your paper bag gloves.
Yeah, got a paper on my hand.
So what's on your mind, man? A Merry Christmas to you, man. I do wish you all the best, you know, and I'm still looking forward for when we can walk up the steps together.
Them to you, Patches, I walk. This New Year's me here.
Yes, 2015.
Yeah, this is me here, Patches. Patches, like I was saying that this time of the morning of the year, all his night was the fourth amendment of the boxing ring. That was in Netball City. Stanley Fangs Jr. was the timekeeper. I never forget that, Patches. Every time I see him, I tell him about that, he just tell me, Patches, you remember that day? Patches, the longest bell I hear to hearing to stop round one. And the quickest bell I hear to start round two. Patches, the bell says when the bell ring, I watch him as the father man loud to sleep white, you know. He just don't really laugh, you know. Patches, I say, I'm on the chair. Bang the bell ring, start the box again. I say, but he like stupid as a heel. I've been gone already. Patches, I'm tired. I will never forget that night, 1972.
So he was watching the fight, you mean?
Hello?
He was watching the fight?
No, he was the timekeeper.
I know, but so why he didn't stop the clock then?
No, I'm saying, Patches, that's me feeling.
Oh.
Maybe the time was right there.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see. I got your point.
Remember, it's the box there, you know?
Okay, I
And
got
I
your
did tell you, you want the bell make it ring to stop. You want your rest.
I understand.
So when you ring the bell, Patches, that 3 rounds, you collect 10 rounds. You collect 10 minutes. Cause 3 minutes a round. But you collect 10 minutes.
Okay.
And he gives 15 seconds rest. Patches, and then I went on 1974 to win the Sinkers Nevis Welterweight Championship. Then in 1978, Patches, in 1978, I conquered the Caribbean. Patches, the whole Caribbean region. 1978. I got rated number 10 in the Commonwealth. Caribbean champ. Number 5 in South America. I even went down to Ecuador to fight for the South American Championship back in that same year, 1978. Which I believe I win, but I don't really discuss it. Or with judges' decision. Judges them as they lose, and they still lose too. But I believe I won that fight. But I back from 1 to 12. 12 round Patches. 12 started round. Patches went the bell ring at for the end of the 12th round. People in Ecuador started lifting me up. People in Ecuador started lifting me up. Where this country be? When I tell them how small my country is, they want to let me go back everybody, because look at me, my boxing skill. 1975 in St. Martin. Eric Seeley from Barbados. I think you should know Eric Seeley, right?
Yeah, sure. I've known that name. Yes, I know that name, but
Eric Seeley worked in the Barbados newspaper, was a world champion in the making. That was a boxing match in St. Martin back in 1975. I was under everybody felt, I believe the only set of people that I go with is kind of Newton people. Everybody in St. Martin was saying that I was crazy to box with that guy. I beat Easy Boy Lake like a sponge that night. 1975, Eric Seeley went back home and he worked the Barbados newspaper, was a world champion in the making, in the Caribbean of fighting house. I mean, when you travel to all the islands, people talking about, boy, I heard about you. And people felt like I boxed in Barbados, no boxing in Barbados. Then Barbados champion come here to box with me, here in Sinkers. I knocked him out in 3 rounds, here in Sinkers. So this month is a very memorable month. Every time we come around this time of the year,
yes,
I always get flashbacks.
Yeah, you should.
Especially sometimes some of my friends will come by me and they will remind me. But this is what I wanted to say. I went out for luncheon at the Red Cross. But when I step inside there, I saw some people who, most of the time I'm yourself. I mean, it's people who I know. Thought they don't gone home. But and you start talking, you bring back all those memories. I was speaking to this guy, I called him, I don't remember his right name, so call him Neil.
Yeah, Neil.
Short guy,
Yeah,
Go
from-
public house or theatre somewhere around there.
Yeah, from Pond Road, yeah.
From Pan Road, right? Men a long chat, Partisan, so I just want to tell you, man, it's, well, I don't know if the Christmas breeze may feeling it, but the love, Partisan are feeling the Christmas love.
And yes, my Straight Dog family, in his latter years of retirement and outside of the boxing ring, and right here on Straight Talk, Terrence Ruben fighting hunks, you see him on your screen, sparred with many politicians, believe it or not, and quite often with then Prime Minister Denzel Llewellyn Douglas. And he left us with some classical comments like this one, my Straight Dog family.
Be a Satan and judging sin. Satan can't judge sin. The only thing Satan going to judge you is bring you down by him. So that's all. Satan will try to bring you down by him.
Another classical he left with us, and this is the one I love most, my Straight Dog family, when Hunks told us this.
Be a Satan and judging sin. Satan can't judge sin. The only thing Satan going to judge you is bring you down by him. So that's all. Satan will try to bring you down by him.
I'm sorry I gave you that one before. This is the one I was actually looking for, my Straight Dog family, when he said that the make up the Constitution. I don't think I have that. He said the make up the Constitution. I'll get back to that before I mess things up. But the make up the Constitution, he said, did not anticipate a Denzel Douglas coming. But Straight Talk extends, my Straight Dog family, condolences to the daughter and all his other children, as a matter of fact, and his brothers, an extended family, the family of Terrence Ruben Fighting Hunks Percival. May his soul rest in eternal peace. We have lost a champion, my Straight Dog family. He promised he was going to walk one day with me, but that was never to be. May his soul again rest in eternal peace. In the interest of time, I need to spend some precious time on our thesis tonight. But our first observation comes from the U.S. State Department, a Reuters report rather, on a U.S. State Department release. And you can see from your screens that the headline, U.S. State Department expands visa restriction policy in Western Hemisphere. And it goes on to read, Washington, or the U.S. State Department, said on Thursday it was expanding its visa restriction policy in the Western Hemisphere region and imposed restrictions on 26 individuals. The policy targets individuals working on behalf of U.S. adversaries to undermine American interests, the State Department said in a statement. We have taken steps to impose visa restrictions on 26 individuals across our hemisphere who have engaged in these activities. And we understand that the individuals, although it is not stated in that release, Kenneth Ryjak, writing in his financial crime blog, in his caption, reports claim the U.S. Department of State has announced plans to rescind the diplomatic visas and all travel privilege for 26 senior Caribbean government leaders. And he goes on to name one, the Prime Minister of Antigua. And we must hasten to add, Straight Talk cannot confirm the veracity of this blog by Kenneth Ryjak. He's always on the ball nonetheless, but at this time, Straight Talk cannot verify the truth in this report from Ryjak. But we can confirm that the U.S. State Department, in its release, has issued visa restrictions on some 26 individuals. We understand that some of them, or many of them, are in fact politicians. So we'll wait and see and listen when further information comes to hand. And my Straight Talk family, that's my observation for tonight, and I'll move right into my thesis, which I've titled FENCED Shores, Erosion of Public Access at Friars Bay. And recall that last week I commended DJ Marisha for the spectacular work he did in bringing attention to the injustice that continues to be meted out to some small business owners operating on Friars Bay in St. Kitts. In one case, one has operated there for over 25 years, believe it or not. But while I commend Marisha, however, I remember one of my professors at university who always reminded us of the requirement to reconfirm, especially in my particular field of transportation. So, it is in this context I journeyed to Friars Bay on Saturday morning, Saturday last. And what I saw, my Straight Talk family, was disheartening. A road that I have traversed, I've passed over for nigh 50 years, since I'm a small boy. And that road was disrupted, entirely disrupted, excavated, a gut dug in the road. My Straight Talk family, a taxi and private vehicles were forced to park on the main road because there's no access down to South Friars Bay from the eastern side, if I can call it that. So you have to park your vehicles to the top and walk down. And I witnessed, and you can see all those parked vehicles there at the top of that road. Imagine, tourists, in fact, were forced to take the trek. They were forced to maneuver their way around the excavation you can see there, that deep trench, and walk towards the beach. Then I drove to the western side, my Straight Talk family, and I saw an entrance sign. I saw this entrance sign, another sign to the beach. And this road, believe it or not, leads to the salt pond. This road, believe it or not, my Straight Talk family, it starts here, as I can show it to you, and it ends just at the foot of the salt pond you can see there. So there's no access. It's hypocritical. The road, believe it or not, as I said, leads to the Friars Bay salt pond. And you can see that again on your monitors. The original road access, however, has been impeded for some time now by a chain. You understand that chain was put in place by the owners of Carambola. Now, Straight Talk can also report that on Saturday, the SKN Coast Guard had to intervene according to an item appearing in St. Kitts Times, or Times St. Kitts. And we can confirm that the St. Kitts and Nevis Coast Guard had in fact intervened as the access was blocked and the ambulance could not evacuate a tourist who was experiencing a medical problem. So we asked the question, well, what else should happen before this dysfunctional, dishonest, and incompetent Prime Minister and Attorney General. What else has to happen before they can come to the realization that a solution must be found to this impasse? Does someone have to die? That's a question we must ask ourselves, my Straight Talk family. Those who are honest and those who are familiar with Friars Bay know that there has existed for over half a century, over 50 years, a road that provided vehicular and pedestrian access from east and west, also to the west and to the east and vice versa. Well, that being the unvarnished truth, then this must be considered a dedicated public road. This has to be a dedicated public road, my Straight Talk family. So, how? How could anyone get on a high horse and block the road? This is unacceptable, and these bar owners must file an injunction in the court. Not for damages. You don't need to file for any damages. You need to get a declaration in respect of your disposition on those lands, as some of you claim are not private lands. Terence Michael Drew and Garth Lucifer Wilkin said that government don't own any lands in Friars Bay. They are private lands. Well, if they are private lands, ask yourself the question, then why is government involved in this private matter? Or put another way, how the hell the government got involved in a private matter and has issued a deadline to these bar owners? Yes, my Straight Talk family, the government wrote to the lawyer, apparently of these bar owners, a letter that's actually mounted again on your monitors. And we can't read it. Read that letter, my Straight Talk family. Is it private land? But if it's private land, why is the government involved? Isn't that a question that the government should answer? But read the letter, my Straight Talk family. Let's go to paragraph 2. And it says, as set out in our previous correspondence, public beaches cannot lawfully be occupied for commercial purposes without specific legal permission, and commercial operations cannot continue as private property without the landowner's consent. The present occupation was therefore always required to come to an end so that the area could be cleared for the impending development and the associated access and boundary works. But fast forward, my Straight Talk family, to your right. I look at the third paragraph coming down from on the right-hand side here. And it reads, accordingly, the bar operators are hereby required to vacate and relocate their establishments together with any associated structures and effects no later than midnight on Tuesday, the 7th of April. Well, you said it's private property, private land. So how the hell does government get involved in private property and private land? But my Straight Talk family, I must say here and now, as I'll keep that letter from the CABSEC on your monitors so you can continue to read it. But we ask ourselves the question, straightforward question. And I said it's painful. I find it painful to witness what is happening at Friars Bay, especially when the Labour government led by Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw our first national hero, established the policy that all beaches in St. Kitts and Nevis are public property. Championing national sovereignty, Bradshaw decreed that foreign entities Bradshaw decreed, beg your pardon, that foreign entities or hotels cannot restrict locals from accessing their natural heritage. A policy that still officially stands today, or does it, is the question we must ask. But it started going wrong under Bradshaw's godson, Denzel, beg your pardon, Llewellyn Douglas, when he took 854 acres of land from a local citizen named Dr. Wycliffe Beard and turned around and sold all these acres of land to his buddy named Darby for a meager $17 million. Imagine, government acquiring land from a private citizen and selling it to another private citizen or private developer. The development called Christopher Harbour got 6 of our best beaches from Douglas. And they boasted about these 6 beaches. Yes, they did, my straight dog family.
Christopher Harbor is 2,500 acres of land. We've got 13 miles of shoreline with the property, 6 beaches, of which I would argue that at least 3 of the 6 beaches are in the top 10 beaches in the Caribbean, which I think says a lot about the natural beauty.
6 of the best beaches in the land, and 3 of beaches are the best in the Caribbean, they boast, my straight dog family. That's what they got from Denzel Douglas. Buddy Darby then blocked the access to arguably one of our best beaches, Sandybank, with the approval of the Denzel Douglas Labour government, my straight dog family. Yes, he did.
You know, from the very first start when the project started over there, I don't recognize that over there will soon be blocked off and no one will be able to go over there. The first thing that started is when they blocked off that sandbank and said that you have to park your vehicle out by the road. You could walk down there. There is an area down there that vehicle could park. But you see, when we didn't have nobody representing us, such like Douglas, anything gonna happen in St. Kitts. Even at the volcano mountain, you see where they put those houses up there? It makes it so hard now as taximan to take a tour to the volcano mountain. It's longer and it's harder. They had a meeting down there with us. We were supposed to go back with the next meeting and they didn't come back. All the roads them that lead to these areas, the investors them now are coming in. I don't have nothing against investors, because when the investors come, they open jobs for my people. But when we have a prime minister, who I love them to do what they do, we're going to fight, we're going to talk, and let's think if people don't stand up, because I think we should be standing up and go over there and cut down them chain where they put across the road there. Boy, Sambang. Me not care about this, you know. Me ready right now to go over there and cut down them chain, because we're supposed to have access to the beach. We're supposed to have access to the beaches and to the mountain. All these things are supposed to be blocked out from us, but we sit back and we allow it to happen. And sometimes I wonder what we really come on and radio and talk. I only call him because I know this thing with me. Because me ready right now, even if I had a back, I'd go over there and root up the chain. But that is all I have to say, and it's more places going to sell out in St. Kitts, and we ain't going to say nothing. And then, just like how we tell the man the other day around the country, he going to turn to us and sell us next. That is where Douglas aim to, because he ain't got no manners, no respect for nobody in the island.
Yes, my straight talk family. It all started under Denzel Douglas. And this sandy bank spectacle is now being repeated at Friars Bay. At the end of it all, movements must not be fettered because of this new development. What is happening at Friars Bay, whether it's the current local business activity or beach access or lack thereof, should remain free from heavy regulation or political interference. Friars Bay must be developed into a shared natural and cultural space and not just an economic asset. Overregulation and or heavy-handed interventions by government could limit livelihoods like the bars, the small vendors, or local tourism operators. Community traditions and access should not be overridden by top-down decisions. Nothing has advanced to justify the kind of intervention from government. No issue with environmental protection, safety standards must be addressed. No overcrowding or ecological damage you can cite. Disputes over land ownership can be solved and within the public access. The real issue is not whether government should be involved at all. The real issue is how much and in what way government or the private developer must work out something with these bad owners. My Straight Talk family, for generations, the beaches of St. Kitts and Nevis have not merely been scenic backdrops for postcards. They have been part of the public inheritance, a shared space where culture, livelihood, and identity meet the sea. In the 1970s, that principle was made explicit. The island's beaches were declared public, belonging to the people rather than fenced off for privilege. Today, that legacy is being tested. The recent restrictions at Friars Bay, following similar concerns at Sandybank Bay, signal a troubling shift away from public access under the banner of tourism development. What is happening at Friars Bay is not an isolated inconvenience. It is a fundamental challenge to a long-standing social contract. A social contract, a contract with the people. For over half a century, residents have moved freely across these shores, fishing, gathering, socializing, and relying on open access, not just for recreation, but for practical needs. Now, barriers, whether physical or administrative, are emerging where none existed before. The justification offered is familiar: development, investment, modernization. Yet the cost of these decisions is being borne disproportionately by ordinary citizens. And my Straight Talk family, perhaps most alarming is the impact on emergency access. The reports I mentioned that ambulances and other emergency vehicles face difficulty reaching parts of Friars Bay should set off immediate concern. We told you what happened on Saturday. We have confirmed that. But when development interferes with the ability to save lives, it crosses a line from questionable policy into outright negligence. No economic argument can justify compromising emergency response routes in a community setting. None. The broader implication is equally serious. Restricting access to beaches chips away at the very principle that natural resources are a public good. Natural resources are a public good. It raises uncomfortable questions. Who truly benefits from these developments? Are citizens being quietly displaced from spaces they have long considered their own? And what, or at what point, does tourism development become a euphemism That's a nice word for exclusion. At what point? Economic growth is necessary, and tourism remains vital to St. Kitts. But development that alienates the very people it is meant to uplift is not sustainable. True progress should enhance public life, not diminish it. When access is curtailed without meaningful consultation or transparency, trust erodes, and once lost, it is not easily rebuilt. My Straight Talk family, the situation at Friars Bay demands more than passive acceptance. It calls for clear accountability. It calls for public dialogue and a reaffirmation of the principle that the island's beaches belong to its people. Shipwreck, the Godfather, and all the other bars are anchors of cruise tourism in St. Kitts, my Straight Talk family. Yes, they are.
The sea is really clear right by the club, and that's the shack we're aiming for, right down there. About 5 minutes along is the Discovery Bar, and you have to wash your feet before you go in. You can eat lobster, shrimps, burgers, and sample local beers and have a rum punch. The further away from the more expensive beach club, the less golden and the more volcanic the sand gets, but the more fun it gets. This is Shipwreck Beach Club. So that is shark steak, and this is cheese and black bean nacho, and this is a great shack. Great rum punch. If you want to come to an authentic Caribbean shack, ask the taxi driver for Shipwreck, which is just along from Friars Bay, and we only paid $5 a person, which was a good deal.
And yes, my Straight Talk family, the Shipwreck is an anchor.
The sea is really clear right by the club, and that's the shack we're aiming for, right down there. About 5 minutes along is the Discovery Bar, and you have to wash your feet before you go in. You can eat lobster, shrimps, burgers, and sample local beers and have a rum punch. The further away from the more expensive beach club, the less golden and the more volcanic the sand gets, but the more fun it gets. This is Shipwreck Beach Club. So that is shark steak, and this is cheese and black bean nacho, and this is a great shack. Great rum punch. If you want to come to an authentic Caribbean shack, ask the taxi driver for Shipwreck, which is just along from Friars Bay, and we only paid $5 a person, which was a good deal.
So yes, my Straight Talk family, the Shipwreck, the Godfather, and all the others, as I said, are anchors of cruise tourism in St. Kitts. And we must also state that when Bradshaw declared all beaches as public, there was legislation. And we can think of NCPA, The NCB legislation is clear, my straight dog family. And I mentioned it before, and it needs mentioning one more time. Because as you can glean from your monitors, look to your right, and it speaks to interpretation. It's under the National Conservation and Environment Protection Act. And it defines beach, or it interprets a beach, means the sloping area of unconsolidated material, typically sand, that extends landward from the mean high water mark to the area where there is a marked change in material or natural physiographic form, or when there is no such marked change in the material or natural physiographic form, the beach shall be deemed to extend to a distance of 20 meters landward from the mean high water mark on such lesser area as may be determined by the minister in consultation with the Conservation Committee, and in all cases shall include the primary sand dome. My straight dog family, I am pondering. I am pondering, my straight dog family, what is happening here, because the legislation is clear, very clear, my straight dog family, and we ask ourselves when we look at the legislation here again on section 28. And it says, it is hereby declared that all rights in and over the beach are vested in the Crown, and the public shall have the right of access and the right to use or enjoy the beach for recreational activities and purposes. And it goes on. But my straight dog family, development, as I said, and bears repeating, and public access are not mutually exclusive. But balancing them requires intention, fairness, and respect for history. If that balance is ignored, the cost will not only be measured in restricted pathways, but in the erosion of a shared national identity. The people of St. Kitts deserve better than to see their heritage gradually fenced off in the name of progress. Why is a government born out of a tradition of people-first politics now presiding over the quiet fencing off of Friars Bay? That is the question echoing across St. Kitts and Nevis as barriers rise where generations once walked freely. What used to be a shared national space is starting to look like controlled territory, accessible not by right, but by permission. The answer, we are told, is tourism development. But development for whom? When fences appear and access narrows, it sends a clear message. The public's claim to its own coastline is negotiable, and that is a dangerous precedent. Once access is chipped away in the name of investment, it really returns intact. Even more troubling is the practical fallout. Restricting pathways at Friars Bay doesn't just inconvenience beachgoers. It risks, as I said before, delaying emergency response when every second matters. No serious government should gamble with public safety to accommodate private interests. If this is the direction of policy, it demands more than quiet acceptance. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis have a long memory, and they understand what is being lost. Beaches are not just real estate, they are heritage. And a government that forgets that risks eroding more than access. It risks eroding trust. For all the reasons advanced, we must not ever go to fence shows and erosion of public access at Friars Bay. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded to call, again, the numbers are on your screens. And I always like to implore you, which I will do and before I open the lines, which I'll do momentarily, to respect others. Of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us, my Straight Dog family, ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of doing and or saying those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. At 3 before the 9 o'clock hour, then let's go to the lines and say good night to our first caller. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liber.
Good night, my dear. That's the voice I miss.
I am back. It's a pleasure to be back.
We all miss somebody asked me what I did to this lady. I said I didn't do things to anybody. Yeah.
I went on a vacation.
I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
You had to get away from that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Yes.
And refresh yourselves.
Yes. Freedom is unlikely to be lost.
Freedom is unlikely to be lost.
All at once and openly.
Likely to be lost. All at once and openly.
You have that?
Yes.
It is far more likely to be eroded away.
Likely to be eroded away. Yes, eroded away. It's far more likely to be eroded away.
Bit by bit.
Bit by bit.
And glittering promises.
Promises. Yes.
And expressions of noble ideals.
Expressions of noble ideals. Yes. Are we still there?
You have that?
Yes.
I repeat, freedom is unlikely to be lost all at once and openly. It is far more likely to be eroded away bit by bit, and glittering promises and expressions of noble ideals. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening, my dear. You came back with a bang. Good to hear you, as usual. Yes, my Straight Dog family, my quotation is, I think that's what I call her, is back with a bang. And she has provided, as usual, a very interesting quotation. Freedom is unlikely to be lost at all. Lost at all. To be lost all at once, beg your pardon, and openly. It says, it is far more likely to be eroded away bit by bit and fallen promises and expressions of noble ideas. Let's go back to the lines and say, caller.
Give you access via our email platform.
Hello, caller.
That address as well is on.
Hi there, caller. Could you turn your equipment down and just move away?
I have an Alexa.
Hello, caller.
Alexa, and you know.
Are you there, caller?
Alexa, play Massive Vibes.
Caller, I have to move on because you. Are you there, caller?
We say welcome and trust and hope it won't be your last time. my straight off coming. And
Colin, you listen to your equipment. Just forget the equipment and
straight off is a public service program that facilitates and promotes.
Are you there, Colin?
Yes, I am here.
Yes.
But that unanswered call was not me.
Was that you?
Patches,
Okay.
thank you for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
Patches, I am furious. I am angry with the situation that's going on with our inheritance in the Federation, and I will say St. Kitts and Nevis. Now, if the beaches boundary line supposed to be 20 meters from, I will assume, private property. I stand for correction. So if we have 20 meters, where the boundary line for these private entity ends, because that situation should be where a surveyor intervene, government surveyor, because this is war. This is actually war, and I'm telling you, blood gonna run in those areas if that will be the temperature that that continue to brew. No one is talking about the boundary lines. So who intruding upon who? Private property is intruding upon crown property, government property, the people's property. And that is what is missing. I mentioned it before. Where are the boundary line between the beach and the private property? And the dispute is between, if you want to call these people squatters or occupiers, and the Ritz-Carlton, because we're dealing with Friars Bay right now, which is hot. Now, who would go to Friars Bay and disrupt the bar? Who will cut the water line? Who will take up the equipment that the man had there, the bar operator? Do you think a local person would have taken that up on their hand? They have nothing to gain on it. So the fight is between the Ritz and the bar owner. So it got to be somebody hire someone. Because who in St. Kitts have equipment that will willfully go and act on behalf of the Ritz-Carlton, and it is already alleged that the government has nothing to do with such act. Let's narrow it down. So who you think will do that? Somebody being hired to carry out this act? By who? That is where it narrowed down to. And if the government going to sustain and maintain the rule of law between beach and private property, why don't the government investigate and straighten out that issue? And if the bar is on the beach, okay, the bar is not interfering with Ritz-Carlton. You see all those businesses out there? It was established and branded by the bars. So Ritz-Carlton now gonna inherit that. All those businesses, all the patronizing of the customers, including the tourists who been there, because the Ritz is not there. So that man should be compensated big time for his brand. And he should file a lawsuit for economic loss. I hope they are listening. I'm not an attorney, but I sure know how to handle myself and process myself, because this is a big case. And everyone should act on behalf of that man. And the people of St. Kitts, they are cowards, because they are allowing all these foreign entities and uncalled for to railroad them and bulldoze them, which they already bulldozed that road over there. Pick up your pickaxe and pick up your clubs and sticks and protect your inheritance. I'm calling upon all of you. If this is an incitement, let it be an incitement, but don't let your land take away from you in just like that. That's ours, and I'm willing to fight and die. I will leave it there because I hope no one think I'm violent, but I'm not violent. But if I have to put force against water, I will do it. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I can hear your passion, beg your pardon. But let's go back to the lines and say, oh my gosh, I seem to have inadvertently disconnected the call. I'm awfully sorry about that. Caller, please come back. But let's take this other call. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Patrick, good night.
Yes, good night, my brother.
Patrick, you sound very low. I can't hear what you're saying at all. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, you're better now, yes.
Sorry about that, yeah.
Yeah, good night, Patrick. How are you doing?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Oh, yes, man. I'm just hanging in here listening to you as usual. Bringing the ills and the pain we're going on with our people in this country. Little country of us. Now, Patrick, first I want to thank God for life. I want to thank God for our blessed country, Nevis, a country where we think that we could do better. And because of the leaders, them we elect, trying to destroy the people of this country, who helped build this country from Asian time to our sugar industry. So, Patrick, let me move on. Now, Patrick, I met a lady some week ago, and she asked me, Mr. Politics, I was speaking to her. You all so familiar. You sound like you'd be on the radio. Yeah, that be on the radio, man. It's me, Politics, yes. She said, Mr. Politics, you know that I'm a Labour supporter now. I support the Labour for years. But what turned me mind from the Labour Party and the Labour government? They don't like support their own. I studied from since Robert Bratcher. You work for this new Labour Party. They don't like support their own people. They prefer support people from overseas coming in and do whatever. And they like to bribe people. That she was telling me. Patty said this to say that it's a sad thing to the people of the South Friars Bay, who was doing their business so long over there. But you see what happened to the concern about he going there? And he the first going to build a hotel. He's the first going to build a hotel over there. That's the talk all the time. Only Labour Party could bring it, and only the Labour Party could bring that. That's what he idea for, you know? To say and to do. Patches, look at Kitchen Hill. The same thing happened to the people in St. Paul. The people were working up Kitchen Hill, planting so much mountain food and everything. One farmer administration Labour leader went up there and they took back the land from the people them and went up the couple house right down the mountain. Patches, they take it out. When a Labour government, they do as they like with the people of this country. Only Labour government could do as they like with the people and get wet. Only Labour government can't do it. It's only Labour government could it, and only Labour government could that. Only a Labour government could do kitchen as they like and get you with it. No other government could come in and get you with it.
Okay.
That same Southeast spelling Saudi where they're killing the server board and trying to stop people from the vendors them from do what they got to do over there and go do what they got to do. It's the same Southeast Peninsula where they criticize when Dr. Simmons would do the road to nowhere. You understand?
Yep.
And this is the thing about our country, our people. Our people got to get real. People get real. These people love us. They have no use for criticism. If we go check it out.
Okay.
Sure, the defense are not come and water them people from overseas. There's kitchen ready, but only those things and waters. You find the ground and you see what's going on with the other people in this country. People let me stop, look and listen. Okay then, Patrick, I get back.
Thank you very much for your intervention. We go straight back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Caller, you're listening to your equipment. Caller, if you're there, you're listening to equipment. Please just listen to the telephone. Hello, caller. Caller, I've seen you online. I have answered your telephone call, but you're listening to your equipment. I can hear your equipment playing. Could you just speak to the telephone and forget the equipment? Move away.
Hello?
Yes, just turn your equipment off.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Turn your equipment off and speak to the telephone. Can you do that?
You listen to equipment. You just listen to
Caller, yes, just forget your equipment. Just speak to your telephone.
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Just.
Oh, yes. Okay, good.
Yes, just forget your equipment and just talk to the telephone. You can lock your equipment off if you want to. Yes.
Yes. I hope you're not getting a feedback because I'm away from it. I'm away.
We're okay now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes. Can you hear me?
Very good. Okay. Well, Mr. Liebert, well, first, good evening.
Good evening.
And I've listened from time to time to your program. I don't normally call in, but I think what you're saying is very relevant to what is going on now and very important. Like you, I have a question about the sustainable island development state, because to me, it seems as though I have to ask the question, like you asked the question, for whom? For whom? And I'm very disappointed in the direction in which things are going at this time. You mentioned the Friars Bay situation, but even before that, or at the same time, we've been having discussions concerning the Basti High School. I can't figure in my mind how a school that had such an iconic and historic place, where the construction in terms of the foundation and all the rest of it is going to be given outside to be brought here to just be planted. The skills, the economic development, the economic, how should I say, the engine of growth that could have taken place with people learning the skills and what have you. But not only that, the legacy of the school, because, you know, we are highlighting tourism, but a lot of the tourism historical sites were built decades or hundreds of years ago by our people here.
Sure.
They might have been slaves at the time or much later, not slaves because people came in, but it was built here. So we can say proudly, this is a product of the country. What are we going to say about the Basti High School? That it was built overseas and just put here? I just don't understand the thinking there. But then moving forward, it's not just the Basti High School. I see the Fort Thomas Hotel site. That's a historic, iconic place as well. That's a historic place as well, because in fact, even things like the music festival, that is where it used to be held.
Sure.
You have the hotel that the government built to kind of help to stimulate things, and then the whole site itself as a fort. And you're going to bring in these people from wherever, and these other the workers, and so I've driven down there several times. I see them.
From India.
You know, I took a photograph before they put the thing around them. And now we have this situation with the Friars Bay situation. And I passed there a couple of weeks ago and saw this commotion. And I saw, where they dug up the path there. And I'm thinking again, sustainable island development state, for whom? And we really need to talk up on this. But I thank you for bringing this, this discussion up.
and I hope that something productive would come out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution as well, my dear. We go straight back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Okay, we seem to have missed that caller, but that lady raised some very important points about the Basti High School. I call it the Barbados High School. You're so correct. Spoke about the Fort Thomas Hotel, and you spoke as well about the development over there at Friars Bay. And as I mentioned earlier, we asked the question, why is a government born out of a tradition of people first politics now presiding over the quiet fencing off of Friars Bay? And that's the question that echoes all across St. Kitts and Nevis. As barriers rise where generations once walked freely, we haven't even come to the Destiny Project, where you'll have an island in an island over there in Nevis. But that's for another time. But what used to be shared national space is starting to look like controlled territory, accessible not by right, but by permission. And we ask the question, again, the answer we are told is tourism development. But development for whom? My Stray Dog family. And before I forget, I want to address that caller in terms of the beach. And if we are going to answer that question, we'll have to look at the legislation. And the legislation is clear in terms of the interpretation of the NCPA, the National Conservation and Environment Protection Act. I'm trying to find that piece of legislation so I don't misguide you. And yes, a beach is, according to the interpretation, beach means the sloping areas or area of unconsolidated material, typically sand, but that extends landward from the mean high watermark. There's a technical issue to the area where there is a marked change in material or natural physiographic form, or when there is no such marked change in the material or natural physiographic form, the beach shall be deemed to extend to a distance of 20 meters landward from the mean high water mark, or such less area as may be determined by the minister in consultation with the Conservation Commission, and in all cases shall include the primary sand dune. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Patrick, good night.
Good night. Sounds like the Bible man. How art thou?
I'm fine. Wait here, Patrick. I'm gonna read Psalm 40.
Uh-huh.
I got some Patrick scripture for you tonight.
Please.
From Psalms. Psalm 40.
Mm-hmm.
I wait patient for the Lord, and he reclined my ears. That's Psalm 40. And he brought me out the house. He brought me up out the horrible pit, and out of horrible pit, and out of the miry clay, and he set my feet and the rock, and established my going. Here the next one, Patrick. That's Psalm 40. Blessed is the man that considereth the poor. Lord have mercy. In the time of trouble, the Lord shall deliver him. Psalm 45. Here it is here. My heart is from a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king, and my tongue is a pen of ready. Yeah. Psalm 46.
God is my refuge and my
Psalm 46. God is our refuge
and strength.
God is our refuge and strength in the very time of trouble.
Present time of trouble.
Therefore, I will not fear though the earth be moved, and though the mountain is carried away into the sea. Now, Psalm 47. Clap, clap your hands, all ye people, and shout unto the God with triumph. Psalm 48. Here they say, great is the Lord, and greatly shall be praised. It is city of our God. Good night, Mr. Patches.
Good night, my Street Dog family. Thank you for your biblical intervention as we go straight back to the lines, and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patches, good evening, man. How you doing tonight, man?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, straight to it, man.
Mm-hmm.
All these big words these politicians of the day using, sustainable island state, according to that caller earlier. You know, these politicians of the day, they are so crooked and corrupted. There's no way we should leave these politicians lead us astray. The old style politics should be a thing of the past. That party line politics is no good for the country. It's messing up the place. Patches, when these issues come up and their national issues, is nowhere we should be staying on party lines. The supporters of that Labour Party, they might have to crash their own party and their leaders. Man, it's appalling to see what's going on in St. Nevis. You know, the people are divided. The people are too dumb and sour. They're too laid back. In most cases, when I try to talk to some people about what's going on there, boy, I mean, care about it. Them politicians, they could take up the land and do what they want to do with it. Let me see how much money they're going to take with them in their grave. Man, at the end of the day, those persons that went over there and dig up that road, as far as I can tell, they took the law in their own hands. Those persons should probably be reprimanded, whoever they are, and whoever gave the orders to. Because if we have the laws to keep that road open and have that access, and somebody go over there and block that shit off, that man should be arrested. No doubt about it. They're out of order. Man, there need some rebel people down in St. Kitts and Nevis, man. It might take an incident there to chill out these foreigners. We know we see a lot of incidents happen elsewhere. There was a famous incident that happened down in the Virgin Islands, and it put a damper on them. You know, we're not trying to incite violence here, but these two governments on both St. Kitts and Nevis, they need to be slowed down. It's only the people can slow them down by protesting and going in the street. Patches, man, I want to see a massive rally protest in the street. One in Charlestown and one down in Bastille. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis got to come together and unite against these injustices. Man, I swear, man, I wish I could be coming on here and calling names. Those persons, they know who they are, who on the party line. Them loyalist supporters, especially those of that Labour government who think the government is doing so good. I mean, they can't see what's going on. Every day you get up is something different, something new. Man, when the access to the beaches is locked off, all of us will be denied that access to the beach. And that incident over the weekend, where the ambulance couldn't get down there because of that road being blocked off, is something that most of us probably didn't even thought about. But the Lord made that incident happen for a reason. Even in a medical emergency, the ambulance can't get down from a land road. But the people got to wake up and stand up and rise up. This is technically our last chance to save our two islands. Because these governments of the day, they're facilitating and fast-tracking destroying St. Kitts and Nevis and giving away these lands that we done fought so much for. And I hope the electorates are paying attention. They need to replace both of these governments on both islands. And I'll leave it there, Patches. Thanks a lot, man.
Well said, my dear brother. This email reads, if the beach bars at Friars Bay are claimed by Wilkin and Drew on beach lands, and this justifies their demolition, why doesn't the government apply that same standard to Salt Plage at Christopher Harbour? You know why? Because Wilkin and Drew will never have the courage to go after the white foreigner and non-belonger, Buddy Darby. Sadly, our Prime Minister is just a clueless clown, reads this email. It's 9:29, my Straight Talk family. You may have just joined us. And we have decided to discuss a very, very sad issue as it relates to Friars Bay. And we packaged that into a thesis which I have titled Forced Shores, Erosion of Public Access at Friars Bay. But before I get to that, let me take this call and say good night. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hello. Hi, Patrice. Good night.
How are you, my dear? Good night.
I'm good. You know, I'm concerned about this frigate, Friars Bay business. What happened to the law? The law is there to make peace. Because then this man telling them, this owner for the land, as they claim, the road is there for God knows how long. Dig up the road. They can't get access to their property, to where the things. They mash up the water, break up the pipe. Okay? What happened to the law? So what they're telling them, I do whatever I want to do in your country, you can't do me nothing. Because it's my land. It's my property. But the law is there. The law is there to make peace. So what's the purpose of the law? What's the purpose of the law? So what you're telling me now, if I rent out a place or whatever, and I tell, look, I want my place and whatever, and you don't want to come out, so I must go and pull you out and do whatever I want to do. Take the law in my hand. That's what they're telling me.
You familiar with Friars Bay?
No, not really.
Okay.
But this is what I'm saying because the way how I listen.
Yep.
The how I listen, because then I understand that the road is there for a long time.
Yes, it's over 50 years.
Okay, so that means I have access to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're gonna put a foot track for them to go to have access to the beach, God forbid, as you said the other day, something happened down there. They had to hand the incident back up to the car. That is time consuming. Then they have to take that car to the hospital or car. Whenever the ambulance come, the ambulance park up there and go down. And that's time consuming. That's time consuming. I mean, come on. Nevis Destiny better take a note of this, because as soon as they get the okay, yeah, you have authority to go into the work now, but when everything complete, they can't even go by the gate. They can't even go by the gate. The investors them come in, yeah, but then they have the citizens are working. Does they pay in Social Security? You see what happened to the factory up there which part Scottish Matthews was when Simmons was in. They taking out the people their money for Social Security and wasn't paying it. Is when somebody took sick and go down to Social Security, they didn't get the money. When they come inside, the investors then come in, the government give them an X amount of time without paying tax duty free. When the time to pay tax come around now, they all of a sudden that the business not doing well. They're gone. I mean, come on. We're glad for them. But what are we benefiting? What are we benefiting? Nothing? That's what my two piece for tonight.
Well said, my dear. Thank you for your contribution. And I asked the question about Friars Bay. And those who are honest and those who are familiar with Friars Bay will know that there has existed for over a half of a century, over 50 years, a road that provided vehicular and pedestrian access from the east and west, also to the west and the east and vice versa. You could have gone in down that road to Carambola and drive all the way up to Shipwreck and come out at that side of Friars Bay. Now, with that being the unvarnished truth, then my submission tonight is that this must be considered a dedicated public road. It's been a dedicated public road for decades. So how could anyone get on a high horse and block that road? It is unacceptable, and these bar owners must file an injunction in the court and get a declaration. You don't want the damages. Forget damages. Get a declaration from the court. Because Terence Michael Drew and Garth Lucifer Wilkins said government don't own any lands in Friars Bay. They are private lands. Well, if they are private lands, why is the government involved? Or put another way, how the hell the government got involved in a private matter and have issued a deadline to these bar owners to vacate? Something has to be wrong, my Street Dog family. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller?
Yeah, Patches, the government should be called out.
Should be what?
The government should be called out.
Yes.
The Prime Minister and the AG, they should be called out heavily, big time. Yes. You know, they're the ones in control of Sinkis and Nevis. And the legal issues. You know, whoever went over there and blocked that road, they're out of order.
Of course.
They went they went down to them guys' bars and pick up them guys' equipment and stuff like that. That means that personal, they took that vigilante justice. They took the law in their hands.
Yes.
And that shouldn't be. The point is, man, these guys need to go in the court. I don't know what they're scared of, man. They need to file an injunction like you're saying. get this matter in the court if it's not there yet. You know what I mean? You don't know where the judge going to come out. The judge might come out on your side. But at the end of the day, Patches, man, we're losing our lands. We're losing access to our beaches. And the governments, they're not standing up for the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. And then they're just on the side of the developers all the time. The people are the ones who's got to stop these people. We got to get the courage to stand up to these guys.
Yes, we have to.
They're out of order. They're out of order. The government in St. Kitts and the one in Nevis locally, they are out of order.
Yes.
They're not standing up for the citizens of this country.
Yes.
These guys just care about stuffing up their pockets and taking the taxpayers' money down the rabbit holes. It's time for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis to unite and come together and hit the streets.
Okay,
we
man.
need a national mobilization against all this BS.
Okay, thank you very much, my dear brother. Thank you.
Yeah, Patches, man. Have a good night, man.
Thank you. Have a good night as well. Well said, my Straight Talk family. You know, it is painful, very painful to witness what is happening at Friars Bay. Especially when the Labour government, led by our first national hero, Sir Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, established a policy that all beaches in St. Kitts and Nevis are public property. Championing national sovereignty, Bradshaw decreed that foreign entities or hotels cannot, underline, cannot restrict locals from accessing their natural heritage. A policy that still officially stands today. Or does it still stand today? Is a question we are now forced to ask. But it all started going wrong under Bradshaw's godson, Denzel Llewellyn Douglas. That's where it started going wrong. When Douglas went to the National Assembly and compulsorily, I think is the right term, acquired some 53 acres of land from a local citizen named Dr. Beard. And Douglas turned around and sold all these lands, all these acres of land, to his buddy named Darby for a meager $17 million. The development called Christopher Harbour also got 6 of our best beaches from Douglas.
Christoph Harbor is 2,500 acres of land. We've got 13 miles of shoreline with the property, 6 beaches, of which I would argue that at least 3 of the 6 beaches are in the top 10 beaches in the Caribbean, which I think says a lot about the natural beauty.
Imagine that. Buddy Darby then blocked the access to arguably one of our best beaches, Sandy Bank, with the approval of the Denzel Douglas Labour government, my Straight Talk family.
You know, from the very first start when the project started over there, I don't recognize that over there will soon be blocked off and no one will be able to go over there. The first thing that started is when they blocked off that sandbank and said that you have to park your vehicle out by the road. You could walk down there. There is an area down there that vehicle could park. But you see, when we didn't have nobody representing us, such like Douglas, anything gonna happen in St. Kitts. Even at the Volcano Mountain, you see where they put those houses up there? It makes it so hard now as taximan to take a tour to the Volcano Mountain. It's longer and it's harder. They had a meeting down there with us. We were supposed to go back with the next meeting, and they didn't come back. All the roads them that lead to these areas The investors, them now are coming in. I don't have nothing against investors, because when the investors come, they open jobs for my people. But when we have a prime minister, who I love them to the way they do, we're going to fight, we're going to talk, and let's think if people don't stand up, because I think we should be standing up and go over there and cut down them chain where they put cross the road there. Boy, stand back. Me don't care what about this, you know. Me ready right now to go over there and cut down them chain, because we're supposed to have access to the beach. We're supposed to have access to the beaches and to the mountain. All these things are supposed to be backed up from us, but we sit back and we allow it to happen. And sometimes I wonder what we really come on radio and talk. I only call him because I know this thing with me. Because me ready right now. You've never had a back guy to go over there and root up the chain. But that is all I have to say. And it's more places going to sell out in St. Kitts, and we ain't going to say nothing. And then, just like how we tell the man the other day around the country, he going to turn to us and sell us next. That is where Douglas aim to, because he ain't got no manners, no respect for nobody in the island.
Okay, caller, thank. And my Straight Dog family, this same Sandy Bank action is now being repeated at Friars Bay. And this email reads, my Straight Dog family, a public easement is a legal right that allows the general public to use a specific portion of private property for a designated purpose, such as public walkways, beaches, or utility access. It restricts the landowner from blocking access to that area, although the property remains privately owned. Key aspects of public easements. Purpose. These are created for public benefit, including sidewalks, hiking trails, utility lines, power, water, or access to beaches. Creation. They are typically established by a formal written agreement or dedication, a recorded subdivision map, or sometimes by long-term usage, known as prescriptive easement. Property owner obligations. While owners cannot block public access, they generally must maintain the area. Owners are often required to manage landscaping or ensure fences have gates for access. The access to Friars Bay is a prescriptive easement. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good night, Patters.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, this is Lincoln Hazel, Pastor Lincoln Hazel, calling.
How are you, Pastor?
I just felt like calling tonight because when I heard about the thought for today, it was very strong. Because when it speaks about our freedom, we're not going to just lose all at the same time. But we're going to lose it piece by piece by piece until we've lost all our freedom. I say that because as Kittitians, we must not be passive citizens, we must be active citizens. And unless something does not affect us directly, we try to sweep it under the rug. And whoever is in the problem, by themselves. And that kind of system is what the powers that be like. Everybody bear their own problems. But together we have to bear one another's burden. Because, you know this, for 3 years now, I've been fighting my case with the National Bank, which is still in court. And most people feel I shouldn't talk about it because it's a personal affair between me and National Bank. It has nothing to do with the public. And some people think I shouldn't talk about it. But you know this, that started with me. And then they went to Francis. And Francis got his share. And when you think it's over, at Friars Bay, I'm just showing you how it has been chipping off piece by piece, piece by piece. And what I'm saying today, it's for somebody else. But tomorrow, it will be you. And at that time, we're going to want all kind of people to speak out on our behalf. And we want people to help and talk. But until it comes in your backyard, you're careless and you think that nobody must talk about it. And I'm calling on the people who think it's in Nevis to do something. Everything that happens here is everybody's business. And don't ever think that what your brother is going through is his business alone. Because when they get you with your brother, with our brother, then they come for us. And they come to our sister. And they're chipping off piece by piece. And soon we have no rights. We have no laws. We are alien in our own country. And we just have to take it as it is because we can't go to the beach anymore. We can't own our own businesses anymore. We can't get loans from the bank anymore. All the aliens getting loaned 5 times as fast as the citizens. There's no rights. There's no rights for Finkits people. Politicians must not just look at the individual that is going to the situation now. We have to learn and understand that tomorrow it could be me. And don't wait until it is you to say it's wrong. It is wrong whether it is me, it's wrong whether it is you, it's wrong whether it's anybody. And my case is still going on. I can tell you, we have another hearing on the 18th of May. But every time, the big, powerful people, they know how to keep pushing the case down the road so that justice is never heard. But people think it's have to learn to sit down and allow their brother to carry the load out by themselves and don't get up and help. Let's work together and free all of us. We'll be free together. If we go one by one, we're going to all die together. We're going to be all die one by one. And by the time we catch ourselves, there's nobody to help anybody. That's I just wanted to give my little piece because I listened to this thing and it really gets into my spirit. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your contribution, Pastor. We are blessed to have had your contribution. At the end of it all, movements must not be fettered because of some new development. What is happening at Friars Bay, whether it's the current local business activity being attacked or beach access being denied or threatened, movement should remain free from heavy regulation and political interference. Friars Bay must be developed into a shared natural and cultural space and not just an economic asset. Let's go back to the lines. I'll get back to that trend of thought. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Lyman.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I just called to say thanks to that pastor who called in. He could not have said it better. Is that we are the people, we need to stand up for each other, understand that we fight together, and if we do not fight together, all of us are going to suffer together. So thank you very much, Pastor, and I wish we'll have more like you who will come out and speak truth to power and try to energize the citizenship of Finkits and Nevis. Thanks again.
Thank you very much as well for your contribution, short and to the point. And yes, we all thank Pastor Hazel. And our people need the courage to stand up. I mean, they say government is the people. A government of the people, for and by the people. Why we put these governments into office and the liquor would tail when they're done? I'm speaking as one who served in government. I always wonder why. And it baffles me the way this particular set of politicians are behaving. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller?
Patches, I saw agree with the pastor there. Patches, you think if any other administration, any other party was in government, you think all these things could happen out there and the Labour Party in a position and they speak out against what's going on with the people in the country? When I listen to Finalin Barrow talking about the people about the South Friars Bay and the program and saying all kind of thing, I believe you're the first man will go out there go cause all kind of thing. I believe you're the first person will go out there cause all kind of thing, Patches. But Patches, you see, petition do not like turn up and can't talk all with a party line. It's time we get from this party line. Patches, and if we don't get from this party line, as government gonna come, do as they like, and the people going on after in our own country. These guys don't just come and buy us out. This is a caring Labour Party, as they always say. They are caring Labour Party. Only Labour Party this and only Labour government could do this. And only Labour government could do that. And why they is treating the people like that? Why they is treating us like that? Why? Why not to do? Why? I think that you went in to make something different to what Douglas was doing. But it comes like even worse. Because you ain't listening to nobody at all. You're not doing as you like. You're not telling little lies. And people in the evangelical association, in the churches, some of them won't speak out because of what they're getting. You understand? Man, we can't support people like that. We can't push out people like that. Some of these foreign investors are coming in when you look what the brother they have in the Christopher Harbor. Government got to go find money to help them out. Money got this amount of million got to come out of the National Bank to help them out. And they come in commitment. This is what happened. Can you say we ain't learning what's going on, what happened before? And the administration with Dr. Douglas. And the doctors are coming doing the same thing now. Now we got to be real. Let me wake up now. Wake up. Citizens and Nevis. Let me wake up. Okay. Let me get rid of these people. They're not good for the country. There's not any good for the country, Catherine. I said so. Okay. And I said so with the water in my mouth.
Okay.
Catherine, let God bless you and keep you and continue straight talk, because straight talk is the only program to change government in this country. And people like me, Carl Brown and others.
Okay.
A lot of them done gone and beyond. People like me, good friend, culture and others. But let me keep up the fight. We got to fight, Patches, with these evil, wicked people we electing government. Patches, have a wonderful night again. May God bless you and keep you.
Have yourself a wonderful night. God bless you and keep you as well. And my Straight Talk family, as we wind down tonight's programming, the real issue I want to state clearly is not whether government should be involved at all. It is how much and in what way. Because government and or the private developer can ensure that something is worked out. It has to be worked out. Not with this heavy-handed putting equipment and digging up people place and cutting off man water and moving the generators. No. For generations, the beaches of St. Kitts and Nevis have not merely been scenic backdrops for postcards. They have been a part of the public inheritance, a shared space where culture, livelihood, and identity meet the sea. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Yes, good evening, my husband. Good evening. How are you?
I am peaceful. Good evening. How are you?
Oh, God bless you tonight. I hear your voice once more. I take a little break off.
Okay.
From calling in.
Okay, I thought you went to.
Mr. Huh?
I thought you went away and did not say anything to me. Or your straight
No,
out family.
when I go away, when I'm ready to go, I will let you know.
Okay,
I will shout and let you know. Mr. Liebert, I have one thing to say. How this country run into you?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Yes.
I never see a thing like this all in a while.
The ship is
our
without,
little stink kids.
the ship has no
Our
rudder.
little stink. You hear what? Our little stink kids tonight. Oh my God. Everybody in this country right now bawling and suffering. They're crying. What you want to come tell me? Dr. Joe ain't here. Everybody cry. From the suckling to the breathing, nobody cry. Huh? I cannot believe they ain't do one thing since they gone in inside there. If they build a little house, the house ain't mean nothing more and whatever. Since they gone in power, they have done nothing in the country but poverty that bring in this country here for everybody.
Are you there, my dear? Hello? Okay, we seem to lose this caller every time around. I wonder why. But I'm sure you'll get back before our program climaxes. But I was saying before, I hope this is my good lady coming back. Caller, you're live.
Yes, I'm back, Mr. Liebert. I listen. I listen to the commissioner today. He talking about the crime. The crime start now. How they gonna control it? How they deal with it? How they gonna work it out? How they gonna work it out? How they deal with it? They need to come out of office because they don't know one shit what they're doing. None of them know what they're doing. Hear me as voice that none of them know what they're doing. All what they gone inside the park to fly and play every minute and to use up people goddamn tax money. That's what they're gone inside there for telling people that's a lie. Brainwash the young people and will put them inside there in power. But the song all them say, the power inside their head got them stupid and mumu. They don't know what they do. When they left office, the backside goes full of people tax money. They don't know what they're doing. Don't think to train them. We're going to school and give good hot meal lunch. The hospital want good medical thing. You don't have to go abroad. Nobody have no money in this country now. When they did the little change, it got out of the hand like fire in the hand and fire upon the money. It got out of the hand full speed. People can't have got good breakfast, a good dinner, a good lunch. They can't even take a good shop in a weekend time. What the hell, doctor, you doing with people tax money? What are you doing with the money? Huh? When he went in there for to tell the country in red, and now we open up on goddamn plane, I play all about the place. He and he cover them. But they're going to get the backside out.
Okay.
And Timothy Howe is coming back in with strong force and with power. Nobody could stop it but God. Nobody.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You have a wonderful night, Mr. Liebert.
Have a wonderful night as well. Like one's aunt. That's how I know this lady always passionate about her views. And just information that has just come to hand is that the St. Kitts Nevis Transit, your personal travel companion, it's a passion update. Please be advised that the MV Passion will resume operations on Tuesday, 21st April 2026. As a result of rising fuel costs, passenger fares have been updated. Adults pay 40 EC dollars, students pay 30 EC dollars. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. That's coming from the owners of the MV Passion, the owners or operators of the MV Passion. That service resumes tomorrow, Tuesday, 21st April, with increased fares as a result of rising fuel costs. Adults will now pay 40 EC dollars, children/students 30 EC dollars and they are apologizing for any inconvenience that may be caused. And that's for the commuters, travelers between St. Kitts and Nevis by ferry. In case you're wondering, it's a ferry service between St. Kitts and Nevis. Fares gone out to 40 EC dollars, and for students and children, they pay 30 EC dollars, coming from the owners and or operators of the MV Passion. As we wind down tonight's program in my Straight Talk family, may I conclude that in the 1970s, the principle was made explicit. The island's beaches were declared public beaches. My Straight Talk family. But before that, let me read this email. Dear Patches, I'm very concerned because I heard that Michael Jew is on the list with Skerrit to have their visas revoked. If that's the case, what will happen to the rest of the trips Jew was scheduled to continue with? Do you have any answers or updates on this? We'd appreciate some clarity. Reads this email. Well, the State Department, like I said, according to Reuters, the issue is, they have reported, as per the headline, the U.S. State Department expands visa policy in the Western Hemisphere, and it speaks to 26 individuals. It's another report that we cannot confirm that these individuals may very well be ministers or politicians, but we'll have to get that confirmed. We cannot at this point get it confirmed. As I mentioned earlier, Kenneth Rijok, a financial crime blogger, has stated or claimed that the Prime Minister of Antigua is one. On the line, we cannot, on the line, cannot confirm the veracity, the truth in this release from Rijok. But the Rijok I know is normally well on point. But my Straight Talk family, as we conclude tonight's programming, I state that in the 1970s, I was saying earlier, that the principle was made explicit that the island's beaches were declared public, belonging to the people rather than fenced off for privilege. Today, that legacy is being tested. The recent restrictions at Friars Bay following similar concerns at Sandybank Bay signal a troubling shift away from public access under the banner of tourism development. Caller, I'm going to guide you by the rules of brevity as I'm winding down. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Please be guided by the rules of brevity.
Yeah. Batches, pertaining to that travel ban list, I know the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis would have been banned.
How do you know that?
I know. Huh?
How do you know that?
How do I know?
Yes.
It's not a matter of sources. It's the association. And you see, one thing with Uncle Sam, even though we don't like...
How do you know he has been banned?
I'm giving... Huh?
How do you
his
know
visa will be revoked.
What?
His travel visa will be revoked.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if, as an ambassador, he will maintain his ambassador passport to travel to the U.S. But, you see his pattern, his behavior, his association, Uncle Sam don't like it. And they are watching him. Yes, who is Uncle Sam to dictate? your destiny, your destination. But guess what? They don't like the pattern of our government. And that goes to Antigua too. And I'll leave it right there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What is happening at Friars Bay as we wind down tonight's programming is not an isolated inconvenience, I submit. It is a fundamental challenge to a long-standing social contract. For over half a century, residents have moved freely across these shores, fishing, gathering, socializing, and relying on open access, not just for recreation, but for practical needs. No barriers, whether physical or administrative, are emerging where none existed before. And the justification offered is familiar: development, investment, modernization. Yet the cost of these decisions is being borne disproportionately by ordinary citizens. Perhaps most alarming is the impact on emergency access. Reports that ambulances or the ambulance and other emergency vehicles face difficulty on the weekend reaching parts of Friars Bay, and that should set off, my Straight Dog family, should set off immediate concern. This article in Times Caribbean Straight Talk can confirm. But when development interferes with the ability to save lives, it crosses a line from questionable policy into outright negligence. No economic argument can justify compromising emergency response routes in a community setting. The broader implication is equally serious. Restricting access to beaches, my Straight Dog family, chips away at principles that natural resources are a public good. It raises uncomfortable questions. Who truly benefits from these developments? Are citizens being quietly displaced from spaces they have long considered their own? And at what point does tourism development become a nice word for exclusion? A euphemism for exclusion. Economic growth is necessary, and tourism remains vital to St. Kitts and Nevis. But development that alienates the very people it is meant to uplift is not sustainable. Not at all. True progress should enhance public life, not diminish it. When access is curtailed without meaningful consultation or transparency, trust erodes, and once lost, it is not easily rebuilt. In closing, my Straight Dog family, the situation at Friars Bay demands more than passive acceptance. It calls for clear accountability, public dialogue, and a reaffirmation of the principle that the island's beaches belong to its people. Shipwreck and others, they are anchors of tourism, cruise tourism to be specific. 4 ships were in. Where you find the crowd? On Friars Bay, at the Godfather, at Shipwreck, and yes, at Carabola too.
The sea is really clear right by the club, and that's the shack we're aiming for, right down there. About 5 minutes long is the Discovery Bar, and you have to wash your feet before you go in. You can eat lobster, shrimps, burgers, and sample local beers and have a rum punch. The further away from the more expensive beach club, the less golden and the more volcanic the sand gets, but the more fun it gets. This is Shipwrecked Beach Club. So that is shark steak, and this is cheese and black bean nacho, and this is a great shack. Great rum punch. If you want to come to an authentic Caribbean shack, ask the taxi driver for Shipwreck, which is just along from Friars Bay, and we only paid $5 a person, which was a good deal.
And yes, my Straight Talk family, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis have a long memory, and they understand what is being lost. Restricting pathways at Friars Bay doesn't just inconvenience beachgoers. As you've heard, it risks delaying emergency response or responses when every second matters. And no serious government should gamble with public safety to accommodate private interests. If this is the direction of policy, it demands more than quiet acceptance. The people of St. Kitts have a long memory, as I said. They understand what is being lost. Beaches are not just real estate, they are heritage. And a government that forgets that risks eroding more than access. It risks eroding trust. And for all those reasons I've advanced, we must not move to fence shores and erosion of public access at Friars Bay and at any other beach on St. Kitts or on Nevis. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many callers, those who sent emails, those who just viewed or just listened. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I must leave you with our quotationist, or our quotation. Freedom is unlikely to be lost all at once and openly. It is far more likely to be eroded away bit by bit, and failing promises and expressions of noble ideals. That's the way we're going to end it, my Straight Talk family. Until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Be good to all whom you meet, and be kind and loving. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye until we connect on Thursday.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praise